Good morning, Kahal Kadosh, Shavua Tov Mevorach. Welcome everybody. Today, Tuesday, the 27th day of Shevat, corresponding to the 6th of February, 2024. Today's class dedicated for the Refuah Shelema of Sipora, Bat Marinel, Leah, Bat Sarah, Rachel, Bat Haya, and Hacham Yaakov Hillel, Ben Gladys Hatun, among all of the Cholim of Am Israel. So, we'll continue by Ezat Hashem discussing some of the suggestions that the great Rabbi Chaim Palachi brings in Moed Kol Chai on the small actions that we can do specifically during this period of the Shovavim, as we discussed for the past few weeks, matters that we are actually, thank you so much, matters that we are actually do on a regular basis, thank you so much, and we'll add an extra concept to better understand how this behavior can remedy sins or mistakes of the past. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Shakol Nihiya Bidbaro. One of the things Rabbi Chaim Palachi writes, and it says, is the concept of learning Mishnayot. Now, usually, the concept of learning Mishnayot can be seen activated when, Haz v'shalom, somebody passes away and the person dedicates the learning of the Mishnah in loving memory of someone, and there is a spiritual connection because Mishnah and Neshama are the same letters. If a person wants to benefit the Neshama, learns Mishnayot. The Hidush of the Moed Kol Chai today is that the learning of the Mishnayot not only benefits the soul of the Niftar, of someone that God forbid is no longer among the living, but actually when a person learns Mishnayot, there is the benefit to the very, very own Neshama. And it makes sense, because if Mishnah and Neshama are exactly the same letters, so what difference does it make if I'm learning the Mishnah for my own well-being or if I'm learning the Mishnah for somebody else's spiritual well-being? They both achieve the same concept, but it says in this particular case that a person should make the effort to learn Mishnayot. Additionally, says the Moed Kol Chai, the increase of the reading of Tehilim. And I'm sure, at least I like to believe that we all read Tehilim every day of our life. Some people may read more, some people may read less, and there are different concepts, how many chapters of Tehilim a person should read a day. And I clarify, the chapters of Tehilim that I'm referring to, I'm not talking about the chapters of Tehilim that we say in Shaharit or in Minha. Why? Because this is part of prayer. I'm talking about that a person devotes a few minutes a day to read Tehilim. For example, the book of Tehilim is divided into 5 books. The book of Tehilim is divided into 150 chapters. The book of Tehilim is divided in 30 days. So if you want to take an easy formula, that's the one I usually utilize myself. You're welcome to copy it. I don't have copyright. I don't have intellectual property on this matter. It's available Lechol Am Israel. Open the book of Tehilim and look at the date of the month, of the Hebrew month, and then you read a few chapters. So today is the 27th day of Shevat, like I said in the beginning of the class. Today is actually easy Tehilim reading, even though it's more than 5 or 6 chapters, but today is all the Shira Ma'alot. So you're going to read them. It's like you're reading Zemirot of Shabbat. And if you train yourself, and I repeat this, you're not obligated to do so. But it says the Moed Kol Chai that the Tehilim, and I really have a whole a concept of the book of Tehilim, a lady that we are reminding, we reminded her name in the beginning of the class, that it's going through medical challenges, okay, regretfully. And everyone that we pray for refuah shelema, we're not talking about headaches, okay? We're talking about matters, God forbid, which are challenging, difficult, of the mahala, etc. So she asked me, Rabbi, I want chapters of Tehilim for a specific purpose, for a specific reason, okay? So Baruch Hashem, the Tehilim, it's a multivitamin. Even if you look at the book of Tehilim, every chapter of Tehilim has a reason and a purpose. And Baruch Hashem, many years ago, I put this in writing. It's in writing. I have it available. If you want it, I'll send it to you after the class. Remind me. And then you look, I want to see a miracle. So you see chapter 91 or 92, I believe. I want refuah shelema for the heart, or for the eyes, or for the ears, or for the legs. And the book of Tehilim, like I said before, is a multi-purpose concept. And that's why, in a joking way, when people say the word Tehilim, it says to heal him. To heal. You know, you read Tehilim, you bring refuah. In Israel, they say Tehilim, Tilim. In the Hasidic world, Sephardim pronounce Tehilim with a full sentence, with a full word. In the Hasidic, Medavzugen Tilim. That's how they say. Tilim. What's Tilim in Hebrew? Missiles. So we say Tehilim, we get rid of missiles. That's the power of the Tehilim. I'm not joking. That's what I said. It's a multi-purpose. You want to celebrate a miracle? Tehilim. You want to formalize a request? Tehilim. You need refuah shelema? Tehilim. Somebody passes away, God forbid? Tehilim. And I tell you one more thing. Go to itorah.com, our home, okay? Go to iTorah. I believe to the right side of the website, there is something that says Tehilim reading. And then you have all the 150 chapters, and then you click, and then you have a search box. Tehilim for a lady that is about to give birth, for example, right? And then you can generate a printout. If it's for someone that is living, then you add after the alphabet Kera Satan. If it's somebody that is no longer among the living, you add the word Neshama. That's how you read Tehilim. If you read Tehilim in an official level, let's say Ereyat or Yortzeit, so then you print the name of the person plus the mother's name, and then you put the Neshama. And that benefits the soul. So it says Rabbi Chaim Falachi that not only the Tehilim benefits the soul after the soul departed, but the Tehilim brings salvation and protection while the soul and the body are connected. One more, it says, Rabbi Chaim Falachi as well, the concept of Tikkunei HaZohar. Besides the actual Zohar HaKadosh, there is something called Tikkunei HaZohar, extra chapters of the Zohar HaKadosh, that the fact that they are called Tikkunei means Tikkunei comes from the Lashon Tikkun. So there is a very famous Tikkun. It's called, I think, Tikkun Memchet. This is called Bereshit Taman. It's found in many Sidurim. After Aleinu Leshabeach, you have a tikkun called Bereshit Taman. That's the chapter 48 of the tikkunim of the Zohar. I think that your Sidur, you have a Sidur there in your Koracha? What's the name of your Sidur? Leman Shemo Be'ahava? You see how I know my customers? Let me see the Sidur. Maybe I'll find it. It's your lucky day. Now he's going to auction the Sidur. Look, the rabbi used the Sidur in the class for me. Tu as compris? Wonderful. I found it. Look. Baruch Omer Be'oseh. Right here. Many people recite this after Shacharit prayers. Okay? And this says here, Segula nifla'a, to bring spiritual repair to the neshama. Okay? From whom? Who says this? Rabbeinu Ha'ari. Rabbeinu Ha'ari says, read this Tikkun Zohar. I have it in my Sidur, I have it in my desk, I have it in my Tehilim. Thank you so much. Hazaku Baruch. What that's missing is the benefits of the Tikkun Memhet. My printout has the list of benefits. I don't want to interrupt the class to go to my office and bring the paper that I have, but take my word for it. It brings an unbelievable amount of benefits. I personally try to recite this every day. But sometimes the Yeserara plays games with me. He tells me, do it after the class. So I ask him, which one? The first class? No, after all of the classes. Then I finish all the classes, and then I go to my office. Then I have a pile of homework that I must, like I'm back in school. I come back, the office says, okay, Rabbi, we need to deal with this. And the Yeserara plays games with us, with all of us. He doesn't want to lose customers. But take my word for it. It has a tremendous amount of tikkun at all levels. At all levels. Physical, emotional, financial, spiritual, during the life, for marriage and many other matters. Beli Neder, I'll try to bring the checklist tomorrow. And also, the part of it is, and I think that this is mentioned by Rabbi Eliezer Papo in the Pelei Yoes. He writes and it says that ideal when a person learns Torah should understand, thank you so much, should understand should understand what they are saying. But there are two parts of reading that even if a person does not understand, still it achieves its desired benefit. One is called Tehilim. The other one is called Zohar. Those are the two things. Mishnah, Gemara, Chumash, Nevi'im, Ketubim, Halacha. If a person doesn't understand, so no, it's not the same. But Tehilim and the Zohar is very deep. Even though we do have some translation into the Hebrew, but really the Zohar is a deep reading, but it doesn't matter. It brings the spiritual benefit that a person wants. Additionally, he says, and this is brought down by Rabbeinu Ha'ari, Sefer Kal Nidre, in the night of Yom Kippur. It says that Rabbeinu Ha'ari will tell the students, go the extra mile and have the zechut of holding the Sefer of Kal Nidre. Because the Sefer of Kal Nidre is a tikkun for Shovavim. And the question is, how tikkun Shovavim, Zera Levatala, that we have been discussing it, has to do with Kal Nidre? Short answer, because the Kal Nidre prayer has to do with the words that comes from the person's mouth. According to the Zohar Kadosh, part of the challenges of this topic of the Shovavim has to do with the Berit Milah. You follow me so far? How do you say in Hebrew words? Milah. So you know what it is? Milah, milah. Milah, milah. If the milah from the mouth, that means the word, don't get ideas now. Just in case. If the milah of the mouth, the words of the mouth are proper, kosher, suitable, respectful, this brings an automatic shemirah to the milah of the person. That's why it's called Berit Milah. Berit is covenant. But the covenant is not only to the circumcision concept, is the way a Yehudi talks. So if my mouth, so to speak, has a certain level of kedusha, a certain level of holiness, like the Hafetz Chaim writes in the topic of Shemirat al-Lashon. He says many times people pray and they feel that the prayers are not achieving much. And it says very simple. It's like the person wants to donate blood and the blood is contaminated. God forbid. Can someone that has v'shalom, a medical condition, of a certain severe medical condition, donate blood? For sure not. Why not? Because you don't want to run a risk that, God forbid, the recipient may be affected by the sleeping cell that a person may have in their organism. So the Hafetz Chaim says the same thing happens with the keli of the words. What is the keli of the words? The mouth of the person. The mouth is the container, right? That's why the Shimon Bar Yochai says, if the creation of mankind would have been up to me, he says, I would have created 2 levels of protection. The mouth has two sets of lips. The mouth by itself has 2 levels of protection. The denture, the teeth of the person, and the lips. Interesting enough, the rest of the openings only have 1 layer of protection. The nostrils, the ears, the eyelids. One. The mouth has 2. Yani, like ashgaha, double seal. You buy wine, right? You notice that the wine comes with a cork, and on top of the cork, they put another seal that if someone tampers with it, it will break, and if somebody pops out the cork, the air will not allow to bring it back. I'm sure there could be somebody who's going to know how to, hack the system the way they say it, but that's a simple proof. So he says, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, if the creation of mankind would have been up to me, yani, I would have determined that the mouth of the person should be double. If you have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 nostrils, two set of lips, are you going to say, Rabbi, it's going to look weird? It's not going to look weird. It looks weird because we only have 1 set of lips. So it says 1 for Kedusha, Tefillah, Tehilim, and the other set of lips for Devarim, Betelim. Continues the Rabbi Moed Kol Hai, and again he goes back to the concept of speaking. שלא לדבר בבית הכנסת כלל, אפילו לדבר מצווה, חוץ מדברי תורה. In this case, Rabbi Chaim Falashi quotes the Hidah HaKadosh. That's the source. And it's not easy what he says now. I just read you the Hebrew version, so you get a hint of what we're going to be discussing next. And it says, don't talk at all at the synagogue, even for matters of mitzvah, unless it's matters related to Torah learning. So you may say, Rabbi, it's impossible. I agree with you. I'll be the first one to say, to reach this level, you must be a malach. And you need to walk around with a sign that says, you have a name tag that says, hello, my name is Joseph, right? So you walk around with a name tag that says, don't talk to me. Or I don't talk at the synagogue. By the way, many years ago, I went to a place to pray and I saw someone in front of him who has this sign. It says, I'm in the prayers in the synagogue talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you want to talk to me, wait after the prayers and talk to me outside of the synagogue. It's a very powerful statement and a very strong commitment to do that. Okay? But the metziut is that how extreme this may appear to be, let's be honest here. We all can use an improvement in this particular statement from the Moed Kol Hai. understanding that the moment of prayer, it's a very holy moment. And as a rabbi, I can tell you, people approach me daily. Some people ask questions. Rabbi, I have a question. It happened to me a few days ago. I asked him right away, do I need to call Atzalah? Do I need to call Atzalah? No. Can it wait till after Tefillah? Yes. Can it wait after Hazara? Yes. Because if I talk during Hazara, what I'm telling you, you're allowed to. So if we work at least, and I'm not, God forbid, minimizing what the Moed call high rights, but if we're going to find an area that we can enhance our Kedushat Bet HaKnesset, because at the end of the day, it's all about Kedusha. Kedushat Bet HaKnesset, Shemirat HaBerit, all this is connected. So again, this is also about talking. So if we take upon ourselves that during prayers, we don't talk, that means from Baruch She'amar till the end of Tahanunim. Because we need to remind ourselves, perhaps I'll take a slight detour to remind myself, and you happen to be listening, some halachot. From Baruch She'amar till the end of the Amidah, we're not allowed to talk. But it goes further. When a person finishes the Amidah, you're not allowed to talk neither. Sure, you take 3 steps, you should remain standing where you finish the Amidah, and when the Hazan starts the Hazara, and he's about to say Nagdishach, that's when we go back to our private Amidah place, and we say Nagdishach with everybody. Obviously, if a person has a medical condition or a person cannot stand too long on their feet and they need to sit, but don't talk. Because your Amidah did not finish. Even though you finish your Amidah. You know when the Amidah really finishes? At the end of the Hazara. Because as the Ben Ish Hai writes, the Hazara, the repetition of the Amidah, supplements and gives the final touch to our personal prayer. It's like you send the package, and then you track the package online, and it's telling you you're going to be next in the delivery. And until the package is not delivery, you're not happy. Hamavdil. We do the Amidah. Our Amidah reaches, just to put it in plain English, a certain level. I need the final touch. In the world of construction, it's called CO, correct? Certificate of Occupancy. So I want the CO for my tefillah. You know what the Ben Ish Hai says? That is the Hazara. And that's why it is essential that we answer Baruch Hu, Baruch Shemo, and Amen to each beracha. Because every Amen that we answer in the Hazara, that delivers that prayer. Simple, easy to understand. Then we have the Hazara. Obviously, we don't talk during the Hazara. We have then the time of the Kaddish, time of the Sefer Torah. In other words, all these are areas in the prayer that talking needs to become for later. Is it easy? It all depends on the person. A person who truly understands and wants to do the right thing understands. A person cannot exercise self-control, doesn't understand. How can you not talk? So I'm telling you, you should not talk. Because if I talk to my friend during the prayers, when do I pray? You follow? It may sound funny, but that's the Mesiut. In other words, I have 22.5 hours to talk to all my friends, to talk to everyone. Do I need to talk specifically while I'm praying? Okay, I'm only creating an awareness, that's all. Another one. You see, many of the things that we're talking about today, it's all about the talking. The talking. Why? Because it affects the Kedusha of the Milah. Further, Another one. לשים שלום בין אדם לחברו ובין איש לאשתו. Another suggestion, says the Moed Kol Hai, to bring peace among people. Why? Short answer. Because when, God forbid, a person commits some of the transgressions related to the topic of the Shovavim, we created a separation. What kind of separation? Between the body and the neshama. Even though in simple statements, separation between the body and the neshama, it's usually utilized when, God forbid, a person leaves the world, but spiritual inappropriate behavior, it causes that the neshama of the person takes a step back from the person. Where do we learn this from? From kaas, anger. Today, anger is not the topic. Today is not the topic of anger. But anger is not a foreign topic to us. We discussed in the past that when a person gets angry, so to speak, the good, happy, clean, beautiful neshama leaves. So then somebody asked a long time ago, so how come that a person doesn't collapse in the moment of anger? There are cases that, God forbid, the person collapses physically. God forbid, Haz v'shalom. Heart attack, sure. But from a spiritual, I don't want to be so dramatic, but from the spiritual perspective, the Zohar Kadosh says, there is a switch of the neshama. They gave the person a secondary type of neshama. How do you call this neshama? Sitra ahara. God forbid. That means from the other side. They give him a fake neshama. A neshama that keeps the person alive, but a neshama that derives their energy through sin. Sin of kaas. Now, that's one example. When a person commits this avon, also the neshama suffers. That's why we learned a few days ago that when we say the Amidah, especially the beracha of Barech Alenu, there we say, Mikol Mine Mashhit. What's the meaning of the word Mashhit in Hebrew? Destroyer. Destroyer, right? That's why there is a prohibition called Bal Tashhit. Bal Tashhit means don't be wasteful. You're not allowed to destroy a tree that is a fruit-bearing tree. Because Bal Tashhit. I'm giving you a very superficial explanation. Or if a person, for example, has money and wastes the money in things which are not suitable and proper. That's an avon from the Torah, Bal Tashhit. Wasting. Or the way that a person shaves. Okay, Bal Tashhit. The way you shave, you're also destroying the facial hair. So there is a concept of Bal Tashhit. Another concept in our case, Ashhatat Zera. Wasting the Zera. So when we say Zera means semen. Zera means Zera Levatala. Seed, the seed of the men. Thank you. I apologize to the female audience in the virtual world. But okay, L'Shem Shamayim, don't worry, it's fine. We are humans. Good question. Let's continue. So it says here, when we say the beracha of Barech Alenu, we're not only thinking only about terrorism. We're talking about these particular negative forces created by this avon. Now, I think that I need to welcome to the class today Rabbi Moshe Cordovero. You know him? Tomer Devorah. He's buried in Tzfat. but in spirit he's here now because I'm summoning him to come down to the class. I'm not kidding you. That's what's written in the holy books. When you quote the name of Tzaddikim and you learn their Torah, suddenly they become activated and they become our advocates in Shamayim. 100%. Dovev siftei yeshanim. So I'm going to tell you what he says in the early chapters of Tomer Deborah. It's fascinating because this statement that I'm going to quote in his name is the protection that we have every day of our lives. Because if that statement is not accurate, our life will not be as good as it is. Our life is good, despite our personal hiccups, because we all have our luggage, correct? Each person has their own area in life that can utilize a boost of energy, a boost of beracha, etc. Improvement, of course. But overall, thank God we are able to wake up in the morning, we are able to walk, we are able to come, we are able to see, to function, to spend time learning Torah together, praying. All this is priceless. And the question is, how come we have that good, when maybe our behavior does not match our compensation package? Because you get a compensation packet. We all have it. We all have it. We have a package that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us. You can call it wife, you can call it children, you can call it home, you can call it houses, you can call it a car, income, businesses, assets, stock, savings account, all of the above. Now, can you imagine, before I go to the Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, if God determines what car I'm going to drive today based on my actions yesterday? Maybe yesterday I qualify for a Lexus, but today I qualify for something simpler. And tomorrow maybe I qualify for a Cadillac, and the next day you qualify for Uber or bicycle or the freebie Aventura Tesla transportation system. Or maybe on my the actions of the day before, I deserve to live in this type of apartment. Maybe the next day I should sleep in a hotel. But that's not the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu functions. You live in the same house, you drive the same car, you have the same business, you have a lot of things that don't change. And the question is, why not? Short answer. It says Rabbi Moshe Cordovero as follows. When a person does a mitzvah, it's beautiful. Mishnah in Pirkei Avot. We do a mitzvah, we create an advocate, a sanegor, somebody that vouches for us. Hazaku Baruch. Who doesn't want to get an A in the report card? You all want A. Okay? But what happens if instead of doing a mitzvah, we're doing an avon? The same power that creates an advocate, it creates a categor, a prosecuting angel. So says Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, when these two creations, spiritual nature obviously, are created, the same thing happens. The good creation reports to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Hashem says to this creation, Chazaku Baruch, welcome, I'm so happy to see you. But what happens when a person creates a negative force? This force says, God, I'm here. I need to eat. That's what it says. I need to be fed. It's like you buy a cell phone. What is the first thing they tell you to do? Charge the battery. So the cell phone needs to eat. He needs the energy. So he comes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God, I'm created. I need to eat. I need energy. Says Rabbi Moshe Cordovero that Hashem, God, could say to him or to it, listen to the words, Eneni zan mashhitim. I don't feed wasted energy. Same language. Ashhatat zera, bal tashhit, mashhitin. The same mashhit of the Amidah. I don't feed terrorism. Because why should God waste good energy on a failed venture? It's like you want to invest in something that filed for bankruptcy. There is no way. Once the bankruptcy was filed, you can buy it 2 cents on a dollar. That's a different level of investment. But to invest in a stock that is under investigation by the SEC is a waste of money. So God could have said, you know what? I don't invest in failed ventures. Go to the one that created you. These are the words of Rabbi Moshe Cordovero. Who created that negative creation? We did. The avon that we did. It says, Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, that if that will happen, our life will not be considered life. Because we're going to be plagued from so much adversity and darkness and negativity surrounding our life that we rather not to be alive. You can't survive. But that is the theory. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, okay, you want to eat? No problem. Here is a voucher. There is a free continental breakfast in the lobby. Go and eat. And what do I do for lunch? I'll take care of you. And what do I do for dinner? I'll take care of you. Why Hashem does this? 2 reasons. Number 1, to protect the person. Because if this policy will not be in place, forget about driving what we drive, and forget about living where we live, and forget about your bank account. Because all those things are out of the Hesed of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The moment that we think, I'm deserving, that's the beginning of the headaches. Exactly. That's why Amalek, ראשי תיבות, עכשיו לא, מחר, לא יכול, קשה לי. 4 excuses of Amalek. When he needs to do something good, what does he say? עכשיו לא, not now. The Ain. Mem, מחר, mañana. I'll do it tomorrow. The Lamed, לא יכול, I can't. The Kof, קשה לי, is difficult for me. Yani every hejje, every excuse, why not to do something good? More or less. So therefore, Rabbi Moshe Cordovero writes, and it says that all this protection that we have, even though when our behavior is not the way that it should be, it emanates from the midah of sablanut of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That God has patience. God has patience. Okay, I wait for you. How long are you going to give a free breakfast, lunch, and dinner to this dark creation? He says, I have unlimited credit, God says. Like American Express, Platinum, Black Card, whatever card qualifies for that. Hamavdil, right? That's how HaKadosh Baruch Hu functions to our benefit. But there is one challenge with this statement, that we don't know what is our limit. We don't know. To some people could be 50 years. To some people could be 5 years. To some people could be 5 minutes. I don't have that answer. And I don't think that no human has that answer. And that's why we talk about the concept of not procrastinating.
Credit limit basically is changing based upon the view.
Based on the person. Like you have a social security card, and you have a DNA, and you have fingerprints, which are yours, and no one else has it. Also, it's individual account. I don't know. Maybe a person may have more tolerance than others. We don't understand the ways of God. That's one secret that we also always need to know. When we attempt to understand God, we're going to get stuck at the corner because we don't understand. Even Moshe Rabbeinu attempted to understand. And Hashem said, Bereit et Ahorai. I mean, you need to be watching the movie from Bereshit to follow, to place a GPS track or AirTag on each soul and each person to follow and to understand. But we don't have to go that far. Bottom line, it says, when we make peace among people, we activate the power of speech. That is what gets activated to make peace. Making peace is not by ignoring. Yeah, ignoring to a certain extent. But the truth is, if a person wants to bring shalom between husband and wife or between friends, what you need to do? Talk. You gotta talk. What are you gonna make peace silent treatment? It will not work. You have to speak. So now I'm using the words which is directly connected to the Berit Milah physically and spiritually, and I'm utilizing the power of speech to do something good. And I'll finish with one more. Ledaber sanegoria tamid. Always be positive. Speak from a positive perspective. Because to criticize is easy. We saw it in last week's parasha. Yitro comes, gives a comment to Moshe Rabbeinu, correct? Nabol Tibol. But what was the beauty of Yitro? That he did not limit his comment on the challenge. Because I'll tell you as a rabbi that I get all kinds of comments, all kinds of suggestions, and all kinds of ideas. But most of the time, I don't get solutions. They expect me to find a solution. I don't mind trying. But sometimes will help if you give a suggestion with a suggestion of the solution. And that was the greatness of Yitro. Yitro saw something. Yitro saw something that only an outsider can see, not an insider. Because Moshe Rabbeinu, what is he thinking? I'm dealing with the Jewish people. What else do you want me to do? I'm dealing with them in a boker hada arev, from sunrise till the night time. But Yitro says, if you're going to continue like this, you're going to run out of battery. So Yitro, says the Pardes Yosef and others, the greatness of Yitro was that came with a solution. And I think that we learn this for life. That there are problems. Who doesn't have problems? Which area in our life cannot use an improvement? But if it's going to be utilized just to show a fault or a deficiency without the solution, stay quiet. And that's what it says. If you're going to say, ledaber sanegoria tamid. Always sanegor, in a positive way, etc. Which brings me a message that I have to deliver to someone today. And with this, I'll finish because I have Spanish class for ladies a bit later on. I'll tell you quickly. I'm not going to go to the story, but I'm going to tell you a summary concerning someone that was going through very difficult spiritual challenges. Okay? He developed an addiction, but not the addictions that we usually connect to: alcoholism, drugs, etc. This fellow developed an addiction to video games. Video gaming. Okay, video game is a screen that you play a game, but for you it's fine, don't worry. Keep learning. A young man, somebody will explain to him what video game means later. Madhaf, no money involved. He plays so long, so much, that he spent 23 hours in his room. No sleep. Came out to get some food, and there were days that he will not eat. A brilliant young man that had a lot of future in different matters, and he became, I think, a very professional in this concept in the video gaming industry, but his life was going down to drain. He wasn't bathing, he wasn't eating, he wasn't sleeping. He gave up his career. Everything that he had went down the drain. Sad. And I know the story firsthand. So, a relative tells me that they tried everything. Everything that you can imagine, they tried. Nothing worked. They even prayed. Prayed. And prayer wasn't doing its desired effect. So, I don't know exactly how the connection became a connection, but once they spoke to a certain rabbi. This story happened in Europe, by the way, and the rabbi asked the same question. When you pray, what are you praying? So the person says, I'm praying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that my child, this is the mother telling me the story, is having this addiction, and please activate his heart. So the rabbi said to the mother, I believe that you need to change the way you pray. And he quoted what we are learning today. You can pray by telling God your problems, or you can pray on a positive side. In this particular case, I think that is attributed, I wasn't able to verify it, but I heard from a good source that this is mentioned by the Baal Shem Tov or his grandson, Rabbi Nachman of Breslev, great tzaddikim. And they say, either one of them, for me both of them are Kedoshim, obviously. And it says that when you pray about someone that has a problem, praying because of the problem, it does not help as if you pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu by highlighting the midot tovot of this person. In other words, if I'm praying to God, God, help this young man that has an addiction with video gaming, is not taking a shower for the past 2 weeks, barely eats, is 23 hours in his bedroom playing games, and he threw his life out of the window. What kind of chizuk or positive reinforcement this prayer has. The opposite. I'm adding more wood to the fire. So what was the formula suggested? Ignore the problem. Talk about the positive. We have a young man, good family, good parents. Yes. A person who loves to do good things, who wants to do chesed. And this is all true because before this addiction developed, this was the type of personality he had. And guess what? The happy ending of the story. Because I got the phone call with the happy ending. I got the phone call. No, he did not win. He woke up one day, opened the door of his room, came out of the bedroom, hugged and kissed his parents, and asked for forgiveness, and I want solutions. That's it. What reversed? The focusing on the prayer. That was the greatness of Yitro in last week's parasha. He spoke about the challenge, but he gave a solution. So I give you a suggestion. Next time you come to me with a suggestion, you be ready with a suggestion. Not only with a complaint. No, Rabbi, why don't we do this? Suggestions are always welcome, but it would also help if you come up with a solution. That doesn't mean that I will not tell you your suggestion is wonderful, but it's not a reality. What works in certain places doesn't mean that it works here. What it works here doesn't mean that it works in certain places. Certain ideas can be cloned, can be copied, can be mimicked, can be reciprocal, can be reproduced, but some particular reasons, it cannot. But obviously, we always welcome suggestions, but try to make sure that the suggestion comes from a positive angle, because that achieves much more, the way we say in English, positive reinforcement.
It's like sometimes the business rep, right?
Yeah.
I have no budget for this year. The person who said, well, I want to do this, but there's no budget. Come with the solution. Come how to create the budget.
Right. When I tell you, you know what? I have the solution to your budget. I tell you where to trim the fat of the brisket. Although it should not be too dry neither. Okay, but you got to readjust the numbers. That's all. Budgeting is something that we do on a daily basis. Baruch Hashem, we have to. We have to for the proper financial well-being of the institution, to maximize the benefit to the kahal. So we understand this very, 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 very well. And that's why it says, always, if you have nothing good to say nothing. Not easy. Not easy, because some people, regretfully, that's the only thing they know. That's the only thing they know. And I hope that it doesn't apply to any of us. But out there in the world, there are people, regretfully, that for XYZ reason, they carry a lot of negativity. And that is dangerous. Even forget about this heavy topic that we're learning today. For life, for marriage. Imagine yourself, you like the dinner, everything was good, but it destroyed the whole thing. Hazako Baruch, you're a good listener. He listened to the story the other day. Okay, everything is good. Baruch Hashem. Be thankful. You gain more from a positive than a negative perspective. My dear friends, have a great day, everybody. Besurot tovot. Thank you. Baruch Adonai